Hi, this is Abby Church, and this is my Assignment 5 reflection on my teaching unit. So before I begin, just a brief background. I work in the early childhood field, but I am not currently in a classroom. And so when I did my teaching unit, I went to one of our preschool classrooms and did my teaching unit over a couple days to the same class. And so it went okay, but there's definitely some room for improvement. So how do the tasks yield appropriate evidence of identified understanding? And so for preschool, it's very basic and it's very simple concepts that we are trying to reinforce, and it's in teachable moments and opportunities throughout the day. So my objectives for the pre-K kiddos was for students will compare the number of objects in two groups, and students will use the words more than or less than to compare the objects. And so with preschool, they're going to have multiple opportunities to explore this concept during whole group, small groups, which are led by the teaching staff, and during free choice time that they'll continue to have with the teaching staff different prompts and strategies used to reinforce the concepts of more and less than for the preschool students. How did the task involve a complex real-world application of the identified knowledge, skill, and understandings? And so there was multiple hands-on experiences with the students with materials and different manipulatives, using scales, using any objects of their choice. And then it's also done throughout the day. There can be teachable moments where you're reinforcing the concept, as even such as like when you're lining up and you put them in two lines and you're using those same word sets of more than, less than during meal times. Like there's just in pre-K, it's embedded learning throughout the entire day. And so it becomes applicable to them in that way that it's a part of their everyday lives. How are a variety of appropriate assessment formats used to provide additional evidence learning? And so for this one is more, will be observation based. So in a pre-K classroom, you typically have a teacher and then one or two assistants or aides that are helping her. And so during one of the times I would have the teaching aide observe during whole group to see what and document what the kids were saying, or if understanding, or being able to apply that concept. And then during informal assessments, during small groups, the teaching staff and myself would write down and document what we noticed during small groups, and if the students were able to apply what they had learned of more and less without assistance. How are the students given the opportunity to self-assess and reflect upon their learning and performance? And so during small groups and free choice, obviously small groups was a little bit more prompted by us when we were doing it, but they had the opportunity, once we felt like they were starting to understand, that they could do it on their own and show us by using the different manipulatives or the materials, and they could set and put them in two groups or not, and then be able to count how many they wanted for each group, and then demonstrate that to us, that which group had more and which group had less. Changes to the lesson. So part of the difficult part was that the students just didn't know me as well. I'm not a typical person in their classroom, and so during the first day, it took a while for them to warm up to me. It took a lot of prompting and questioning from me, and just trying to get to know them, and so therefore it led to a lot more sitting and less engagement with them for like during the whole group time. And so and I think just even in a normal lesson, I would want to incorporate more gross motor engagement activities during the large group. It just was a lot of sitting, and I hadn't prepared for that. And the other one was I did not do a very good job of providing more preparation and guidance to the teaching assistants as far as what to say, what language to use, how to apply this. And so even if it was my normal classroom, that would be something that I would need to make sure that I am following through on and helping out. And so those were two of the main ones that I would like to change to this lesson that I observed during when I was applying the unit. So that is all I have for my reflection. Thank you.